All right, what's up, people? What is going on? We got another hot, steamy one. You know how I like to do it on my Sexual Eruption TV. Thanks for coming back, hanging out with Ramo Red Track. I got another deep, dark secret for you guys. I'm gonna get you right in the bedroom. Don't worry. Your woman is gonna thank me. She gonna thank me, guys. Don't forget to hit that cash app now. I see how y'all pay these guys that don't give you nothing to take home. Hit my cash app. I'm becoming the king of the dollar cash app. Oh yes, oh yes. And you know what? I appreciate those $2. They add up. They add up. So I'm gonna go ahead and step on out the way, and I'm gonna let you guys settle down, get your favorite beverage, your coffee, your tea. I'm gonna give it to you like you like it, like you need it, and like you got to have it tonight. Every time, right on time. Like and subscribe. It's your boy Ramo Red Track, bringing it once again. Are y'all ready to get on into this? I said, are y'all ready? I think I got a few people ready. I got a few people ready out there already. Yeah. Y'all ready to go? Y'all ready to go? Now I want you to know what you're doing when you get ready to go, because I hear a lot of ladies out here complaining, guys. I hear y'all saying how y'all put it down, but I also hear a lot of ladies complaining out here. So let me go ahead and get this thing popped off.
Over 70% of women admit to sometimes faking orgasms. This means that up to 70% of women experience communication breakdowns in the bedroom. And I believe that that is the leading cause of breakups everywhere. In this video, I'm going to teach you the 3 easiest ways to give a woman an orgasm to prevent that from ever happening to you. Make sure you stay to the very end of this video, because if you want to give her the full orgasmic experience, you are going to want to see what I've made just for you. But why give women orgasms at all? Well, number one, orgasms feel wonderful. They make sex exciting. They make a otherwise lackluster sexual experience into something with rockets and fireworks and explosions happening. And they decrease stress. If you and your girlfriend or wife are having a lot of fights recently, I would ask you, are you also having a lot of orgasms? If not, that might just be the answer. The other reason this is so important is that without a satisfying sexual connection, she will slowly lose interest. And worst case scenario, she might go looking somewhere else to get her needs met. And that's not her being promiscuous, that's her being human. And it might be that she's just not able to communicate her needs to you very clearly in a way that allows you to meet them. But fear not, that's exactly what this video is all about. As her man, what is your role in her orgasm? Well, you can't just give someone an orgasm no more easily than you just give them a pizza. In fact, orgasms are more like a collaborative process. And if you want to know what it looks like to make a pizza together, stay until the very end. I will explain my pizza recipe. Think of it as opposed to delivery pizza. It's like the two of you collaborating to make a pizza together. Both parties have to be in on it. When I say that both of you have to be in on it, I mean both of you are responsible. You have to be paying enough attention to her body to give her the kind of stimulation that's going to work to get her to orgasm. And she has to be giving you the feedback that you need in order to know if what you are doing is working or if it needs to be adjusted. This is a collaborative process, and it requires a lot of communication. And let's be real, communication is probably the hardest thing that women and men deal with when it comes to sex. Without further ado, I'm going to teach you the 3 easiest ways to work together to give her an orgasm. So, 3 easiest ways to bring her to orgasm. Step 1 is through the clitoris. Now, the clitoris is the home of female pleasure. It is the most nerve endings per square centimeter of anywhere on both male or female bodies. And unlocking it is really sort of like unlocking the door to the rest of her orgasmic potential. It's like the layup of the female orgasm. It's the easiest, most direct, one-on-one route to bringing her pleasure. And now here's how you stimulate it exactly. Number 1, go around the clitoris. So imagine the clitoris little target, and you want to begin by going around the outside, the left, the right, the little stem behind it. You want to warm her up by being indirect. It also serves to tease her and build a little bit of anticipation. After she is warmed up is when you apply some pressure. And just like any great balancing act, you don't want to apply too much, but you don't want to apply too little. It's almost like when you are eating food and you want to not overstuff yourself so that you're totally full and it's uncomfortable, aka too much pressure, but you also don't want to undereat so that you feel just like lacking and wanting more, aka too little pressure. The best way to determine if you're giving her the right amount of pressure is to give her 2 options and ask her which one she likes more. So start with like a little bit less pressure and tell her, that's option A. And then give her a little bit more. That's option B. Which one do you like more? By giving her 2 choices, you're saving her from having to do the mental work of left, right, I don't know, like a 5 out of 10, which gets her out of her body and into her head. By giving her just 2 options, she gets to stay in her body, stay in her pleasure, and all she has to do is go, B, yeah, B, that's the right one. And then finally, part number 3 is vary it up. Change in stillness. So occasionally don't move at all. Just hold pressure, whether that's with your finger or your tongue or with a toy, on the clitoris without moving. You can also vary it up by motion. So instead of going up, down, you can go left, right, or at a diagonal. And then finally, vary your speed. So switch from going slowly to quickly, up and down slowly to left and right fast. You want to vary it every 15 to 30 seconds until she gets really close to orgasming, at which point maintain the course. No variation. If it's like really working for her, you can feel it, you can hear her, she's making noises, her body is moving and grinding and grooving, keep up what you're doing to bring her all the way through orgasm. Woo! All right, now that we have properly, number 2, which is G-spot stimulation. Now, before you go on saying, I already know all about the G-spot, I already watched all of your videos and I subscribed to your channel, ding, I'm going to teach you something a little bit counterintuitive about the G-spot, which is that, guess what? The G-spot does not always exist. Now, I don't mean in the sense of science hasn't determined whether or not the G-spot exists. If you're not sure whether or not the G-spot exists, this is not the channel for you. I'm telling you, G-spot is real. I've felt it myself. I've really felt it a couple times myself. I've felt it with the help of... All right, suffice it to say, the G-spot really exists, but it doesn't exist in the same way all the time. The G-spot is made out of a special kind of tissue that doesn't fill up with blood until she's already aroused. So if you've already given her a clitoral orgasm and now you go to check in on her G-spot, you will feel that there's like a little nub, a little ridge. That's the spot. But if she's not aroused at all, or she hasn't already had an orgasm, or you just are doing a little pelvic exam and you reach your finger in there, you're not going to feel it. It's kind of cool. It's a bit magic in the sense that it only shows up when she's aroused and it disappears when she's not. Tip number 1 is make sure that she's aroused enough for her G-spot to appear by sticking 2 fingers inside of her and towards the front wall of her vagina, the front of her body. And if you can feel that there's a little spongy bump, then you are good to go and proceed. If there's no spongy bump there, go back to step 1 and focus on the clitoris until you can get to step 2, until that fleshy little nubbin appears. Second part, a G-spot orgasm is to find a rhythm. You want to think about this G-spot orgasm as like a dance that picks up the tempo as we're going. It starts slow, or maybe a train. How about, think about it like a train, like an old school steam engine taking off from the station. It starts off going that is the rhythm of the G-spot. It starts slow. You get the rhythm going. You get some momentum. She starts to get into it. You can see her body. You can see her breath. And she's starting to move a little bit. And you pick up the pace faster and faster and faster until you really find a good rhythm and it's really working for her. At which point, warp speed, Scotty! It is time for you to take her to Pleasure Town by picking up the pace about as fast as you can physically make it until she reaches a G-spot orgasm. And if you want more details on that, please on the legendary squirting orgasm, because that often accompanies the G-spot orgasm. If you didn't already, you might want to make sure you're keeping a towel nearby, because you are going to be in the splash zone, my friend. And remember, you'll be able to wipe off all those juices, but you will not be able to wipe off that smile. So
That was a pretty awesome video. The one thing that I wanted to add to it was, um, she was talking about the communication part. That is difficult. At first, and especially if you haven't done it before, if you haven't had a lot of experience with women, you're gonna feel uncomfortable, and you're gonna continue to feel uncomfortable until you start communicating with her. Now, until you get to the point where you feel comfortable talking, the most valuable thing you can do to communicate is what? Listen, right? So, a woman usually will make some type of noise. Based on that, and you have to listen closer with some women, it's harder. But based on that, usually you can tell by the noises that she's making how much she's enjoying it or how much she's not enjoying it. And another little trick that I always do, she was talking about how to know like how much pressure you should put on the clitoris when you're trying to engorge it or whatever. Um, you can, if you pay attention to her body, a woman, if she needs more stimulation on her clitoris, is gonna push towards your fingers. I mean, if you're pushing too hard, you'll notice that she's kind of pulling back a little bit. She doesn't want to see that you're maybe going too hard on her. You see what I mean? Same thing with the G spot. You don't want to be up in there digging a hole to her stomach. And guys, if you can't find it, right, don't keep looking. Just try it a little bit next time until you feel comfortable with her enough, until she feels comfortable where you can play around with it, because like if you try and find it on the first time and you don't have enough experience looking, um well, you're gonna end up sitting there looking, well, you're gonna feel uncomfortable. Both of you are. One tip, and I've left this in one of my other videos, but you might not have heard it. I would advise all you guys and girls to go back listen to my sexual eruption videos, because there's a lot of information in there. I'm talking on some of them, and some of them I have other people talking like I did with this one. But if you want to find the G spot, try to imagine that you can draw an imaginary line from her clitoris to the top wall of her vagina, if that makes any sense. So if you could draw an imaginary line from the bottom of her clitoris, which you can't see, right? From the bottom of her clitoris to the top wall of her vagina, that's those nerve endings are basically the G spot. That whole thing is the G spot. The clitoris is the G spot too. It's just that they call it something else and it's exposed. The G spot is just not able to be seen. It's internal more. So that's why sometimes you have to put more pressure on it or less. It depends. It depends on the woman. And as you try and find it more and more and reach success with it, you'll find out they're all pretty much the same. You'll figure it out. It seems like they're all different when it comes to that, but they're pretty much all the same. And And boy, like she said, I mean, if you want to make a woman squirt, there it is. And then like as you get better at finding it with your fingers, then you can move into the more advanced mode where you can start giving her the vaginal orgasms and she's squirting. And when you do that, you king, boy. You king. You know what I'm saying, right? You king. You will be the king of your bed when you start um giving vaginal orgasms and stuff like that. And the thing about it is with women, once you give it to them right, they can do that shit all night. I mean, like I had one lady. I mean, that shit was ridiculous. Like all my women squirt, but I had one woman who would like it was like squirting all the way across the damn room. You know what I mean? I was like, I was thinking she was gonna dehydrate after a while. You know what I mean? I don't know where it was coming from, but it was Sqwasha, Sqwasha. And we are going to get all of you guys there. Take it slow. Take it slow. Sex. Um, I'm out of here, guys. Don't forget to give your boy that $2. Go down, scroll down, hit that show more button in the description box, and I got all my information there for Cash App. Hey, I'm Ramo Red Track, the baddest goddamn thing on YouTube.